The Gaza Strip, a place we often hear about because of fighting, has a hidden treasure. This small, densely populated area, often in the news for conflict and hardship, holds within its sands a remarkable piece of history that many are unaware of. Amidst the turmoil, there lies a story of faith, resilience, and ancient civilization waiting to be uncovered. Hidden in the sand is the St. Hilarion Monastery, a place that shows us how people lived and worshipped long ago. This ancient site, partially buried and weathered by time, offers a glimpse into the lives of early Christians who sought solace and spirituality in the harsh desert environment. The monastery stands as a testament to their devotion and way of life. It's also called Tel Amer, and it's like a silent guard, protecting the memories of early Christians. The ruins, overlooking the Mediterranean Sea, create a serene and contemplative atmosphere, especially at sunset when the light casts a golden hue over the ancient stones. This site, though silent, speaks volumes about the past. For many years its ruins were lost and covered up. The sands of time had hidden this treasure, but dedicated archaeologists have worked tirelessly to uncover its secrets. Their efforts have revealed not just structures, but stories of the people who once inhabited this sacred place. Now, it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and we're learning its secrets, seeing how people lived there long ago. The designation has brought international attention and efforts to preserve and study the site, allowing us to piece together the daily lives, spiritual practices, and community structures of its ancient inhabitants. The story of this monastery is connected to Saint Hilarion. He was a revered figure, known for his piety and dedication to a life of asceticism. His influence extended far beyond the monastery, inspiring many to follow in his footsteps and seek a life of spiritual purity. He gave up everything he owned to live a simple life of prayer. Saint Hilarion's choice to abandon material wealth and embrace a life of simplicity and devotion in the desert was a powerful statement of faith. His humble dwelling and meager possessions reflect his commitment to spiritual rather than worldly riches. He loved the desert and found peace there. The vast, tranquil expanse of the desert provided a perfect backdrop for contemplation and prayer. The solitude and stark beauty of the landscape offered a sense of peace and connection to the divine that Saint Hilarion cherished deeply. He built a small, simple place to live, and it became a very important place for early Christians. This modest beginning grew into a significant spiritual center, attracting followers and pilgrims who sought to learn from Saint Hilarion's teachings and way of life. The monastery became a beacon of faith in the desert. His teachings, which were similar to St. Anthony the Great, the first monk, were popular. St. Hilarion's philosophy and practices resonated with many, drawing parallels to the teachings of St. Anthony the Great. These early monastic traditions laid the foundation for Christian monasticism and influenced countless lives. Lots of people followed him, hoping to learn more about their faith. Pilgrims traveled from far and wide to visit the monastery, seeking spiritual guidance and a deeper understanding of their faith. The site became a hub of religious activity and learning, fostering a sense of community among early Christians. We'll discover its history, walk where the monks walked, and see the amazing buildings, from the big churches to the small homes. As we explore the ruins, we can imagine the daily lives of the monks, their routines of prayer and work, and the vibrant community that once thrived here. Each stone and artifact tells a story of devotion and resilience. This isn't just a story about old buildings, it's a journey through time, revealing the enduring spirit of those who lived here. The intricate ruins and changing light over the site remind us of the passage of time and the lasting impact of faith and community. It's about faith, how strong people can be, and why it's important to protect these special places. The story of St. Hilarion Monastery is a testament to human resilience and the power of faith. By preserving and studying these sites, we honor the legacy of those who came before us and ensure that their stories continue to inspire future generations. Saint Hilarion was born a long time ago, around the year 300. He came into the world during a time of great change and upheaval. The Roman Empire, which was very powerful, was starting to have problems, and Christianity was becoming more popular. The old ways were being questioned, and new beliefs were taking root. Hilarion was born in Gaza, a busy city by the sea, with lots of different people and beliefs. The city was a melting pot of cultures, ideas and religions, bustling with trade and activity. But Hilarion wanted something more than the city had to offer. He felt a deep yearning for a different kind of life, one that was not filled with the noise and distractions of the city. He heard stories about Saint Anthony the Great, who lived in the desert. These stories spoke of a man who had given up everything to live a life of prayer and solitude. So, Hilarion went to Egypt to meet him and learn from him. The journey was long and arduous, but Hilarion was determined to find the wisdom he sought. Anthony taught him about prayer and living a simple life. He showed Hilarion how to find peace and purpose in the quiet of the desert. This changed Hilarion, and he decided to give his life to God. He felt a profound transformation within himself, a calling that he could not ignore. When Hilarion went back to Gaza, he gave away all his money to people in need. He wanted to live a life of poverty and service, following the example of Saint Anthony. He went to live in the empty desert outside the city. The desert, with its vast emptiness and silence, became his new home. He built a small hut and lived there all alone, with only the sun, wind, and animals. His days were filled with prayer, meditation, and simple work. He prayed a lot and worked hard to resist doing bad things. The desert was a place of testing and purification, where Hilarion faced his inner struggles. People heard about Hilarion's goodness and the amazing things he did. Stories of his piety and miracles spread far and wide, drawing people to him. People who were sick or sad came to him for help. They believed that Hilarion had a special connection to the divine, and they sought his blessings and guidance. He became a leader, even though he just wanted to be alone. His wisdom and compassion drew people to him, and he found himself at the center of a growing community. His little hut became a place of hope. People came from all over to seek his counsel and to find solace in his presence. This is how Hilarion, who started out alone, became the leader of a very important group of monks. His life of solitude and prayer inspired many, and his legacy continues to be remembered to this day. Saint Hilarion's little hut slowly changed into a big monastery as more people joined him. What began as a solitary retreat for deep contemplation and prayer gradually transformed into a bustling center of communal life and spiritual growth. The humble beginnings of a single hermit cell evolved into a complex network of buildings and spaces designed to accommodate a growing number of followers. At first, people who liked his teachings built their own small homes near his. These early followers were drawn by his wisdom and the promise of a life dedicated to spiritual pursuits. They constructed modest dwellings, forming a small but devout community around Hilarion's original cell. This marked the beginning of a new way of living, where individuals could support each other in their quest for holiness. They wanted to live like him, simply, and focused on their faith. The simplicity of their lives was a testament to their commitment. They wore plain robes, ate simple meals, and spent their days in prayer and manual labor. This lifestyle was not just about renunciation, but about creating a space where they could focus entirely on their spiritual journey. Over time, more and more people came, and they needed bigger buildings. They built a church, a dining hall, and places to sleep. As the community grew, so did its needs. The construction of larger, more permanent structures was a significant undertaking, requiring both skill and cooperation. The church became the heart of the monastery, a place where the community gathered for worship and reflection. Even though it was simple, the monastery was designed for people to live and pray together. The layout of the monastery reflected its purpose. Living quarters were arranged around communal spaces, fostering a sense of unity and shared purpose. The daily rhythm of work and prayer created a structured environment where everyone had a role to play. Life in the desert was hard. The harsh conditions tested the monks' resolve and faith. The scorching heat, limited resources, and isolation from the outside world made their commitment to this way of life all the more remarkable. Yet, it was in this challenging environment that they found a deeper connection to their faith and to each other. Water was scarce, so they had to be careful with it. Every drop was precious, and the monks developed ingenious ways to conserve and manage their water supply. They dug wells, built cisterns, and collected rainwater, ensuring that they could sustain their community even in the driest of times. They grew their own food and sometimes got help from visitors. The monastery's gardens were a vital source of sustenance, providing fresh vegetables and herbs. Visitors, often pilgrims or travelers, would bring supplies and news from the outside world, creating a link between the secluded monastery and the broader community. Life was simple and strict, but the monks felt it was meaningful. Their days were filled with a balance of prayer, work, and study. This disciplined routine was not seen as a burden, but as a path to spiritual enlightenment. The simplicity of their lives allowed them to focus on what truly mattered, fostering a deep sense of purpose and fulfillment. St. Hilarion's monastery became like many others at that time. It served as a model for future monastic communities, influencing the development of monasticism throughout the region. The principles of simplicity, communal living, and spiritual dedication that Hilarion established became the foundation for countless other monasteries. What started with people wanting to be alone and pray turned into something bigger. The desire for solitude and prayer led to the creation of vibrant communities where individuals could support each other in their spiritual journeys. This transformation highlighted the power of collective faith and the strength that comes from living and working together. Monasteries became important places for learning and teaching about Christianity. They were centers of education, where monks copied manuscripts, taught new members, and preserved the knowledge of the early church. This role as educational institutions helped to spread Christian teachings and ensured that the wisdom of the past was passed down to future generations. The monastery's location on a busy road between Egypt and other places made it even more important. Its strategic position allowed it to become a hub of activity, attracting travelers, traders, and scholars. This constant flow of people brought new ideas and resources, enriching the life of the monastery and expanding its influence. Many people visited, including travelers and scholars. These visitors came seeking knowledge, spiritual guidance, or simply a place to rest. The monastery became a beacon of faith and learning, its walls echoing with the prayers and teachings of generations of monks. Through their dedication and hard work, the monks of St. Hilarion's monastery created a legacy that would endure for centuries. The sun would rise over the desert and shine on the St. Hilarion monastery. A bell would ring, waking up the monks. Their lives were very organized, with prayer, work, and quiet thinking. Every day was about getting closer to God. The monks went to the church to pray together. They sang and read from the Bible. The church, with its simple paintings, felt peaceful and holy. After prayers, they all had jobs. Some worked in the garden, growing food in the dry desert. Some cooked meals. Others carefully copied important books. Work wasn't just about getting things done. It was a way to worship God. When it got hot, they would eat a simple lunch together, quietly. In the afternoon, they prayed, studied, and thought about their faith. Some went to their rooms to be alone. Others went to the library to read. As the sun set, the monks prayed together again. They thanked God and asked for his help. This is how their days went, year after year, showing their strong faith and simple lives.